So hi everybody, welcome to our GlobalFast Optimal Self um, live session. I am Caitlin Ruth and I'm with...
Hello, I'm Dorota Cloak. We are founders of GlobalFast, and Optimal Self is that's our first episode. Let's call it that way. And where we're going to cover nutritional and coaching tips on how to be optimal best.
Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't want that? I mean, come on, right? So I wanted to share with you, I just got this in the mail today. Thank you, Amazon. So this is licorice root powder. I hate licorice. I think it's disgusting. Never ever want to eat it ever. But I've been studying the benefits of it, and it sounds like it has the most amazing benefits. If you are on our GlobalFast email list, you'll be hearing about it soon.
Yeah.
There's quite a few studies on it and how it enhances liver stuff, getting the liver healthy, and obesity is, I'm sure that you know the correlation between obesity and liver dysfunction. So this licorice has been studied to help the liver and enhance the immune system as well. It's antiviral.
Amazing.
So I'll send out an email shortly, hopefully this week, with more information on that. But I'm excited to give it a go and see what it does.
So is it a powder?
Yeah, it seems to be. So I'm going to open it. Ooh, reveal. So it comes in like a coffee kind of thing. We haven't yet opened it. My dad's girlfriend, who's here, she loves licorice. So as soon as I said to her about the benefits of licorice, she was like on it and ordered this, and it's been amazing. So yeah, we'll try it today. And this particular one from Merloin Naturals, it comes with a little chip clip, which I love. So you can close the bag and it's all branded and pretty.
Oh, nice.
I like branded and pretty things. So
yeah, pretty things. Yes, talks your liver. So how often do you have to take it?
I think that we take it once a day.
Okay.
I know that it's sort of considered a little bit taboo in the conventional, Western medicine world, because it can raise blood pressure. So it's a little bit like, you have to do your research and, speak to your healthcare practitioner before taking it, because you certainly don't want to run into any trouble with it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, sounds intriguing. Yes, keep us posted how what your protocol looks like, and if you see.
Thanks. So today we're talking about 2 hacks that you and I both hold so close to us, but that we share with our GlobalFast community. So why don't you get us started with your one hack that you use for fasting?
Yeah, brilliant. Sorry, interruption here. Okay, Elliot, you just go.
Hey, Elliot.
Elliot, you need to remove yourself from the area. Sorry about that. This is what homeschooling is like. So yes. Elliot, please go.
He's always excited about being in the video with us. I love it.
So yeah, going back to our hacks, the hack for fasting, and not only, one of my favorite things, which I've been using religiously, making it for a year now, is bone broth. So bone broth is my favorite pantry fridge staple. And it's I fell in love with it again. Yeah, exactly 1 year ago when I've learned loads of kind of health benefits about it. But being being Polish and kind of raised on home cooking and that kind of thing, bone broth was always part of our eating. So the reason bone broth is really good for us, and so the bone broth requires, first of all, good quality bones, and they can be, Alice, please go. Okay, I can go play somewhere else. They can be beef, chicken, lamb. I think you made lamb once, did you, Caitlin?
Yeah, it was really stinky though. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, so the problem with the bone broth is that it takes you, the longer you cook, the better the more potent broth gets. But Elliot, please leave. Okay, mommy's working now. Okay, please, can you go? Can you please go, stay with Chloe? Chloe, close my shirt. Elliot, come here. Elliot, please go. Okay. So then, yeah, first of all, the quality of the bones is really, really important, because when you cook it for a long time, if it's not good quality, that's what you're going to end up eating. So organic, from the right farmer, from the right source, with a good provenance and credentials. I always use mixture of bones, so chicken and beef. I kind of like that flavor combination. So for bones, for beef bones, I use like stock bones, and for chicken, I use chicken feet, chicken necks, chicken carcass. So all the all the weird things I like to talk about, and we never see it in a beautiful display of your butcher. But these are the things with the most powerful nutrients, minerals, and vitamins.
I guess because the feet, like in the feet, there's a lot of cartilage and collagen, right?
That's exactly right. So collagen is one of the secret ingredients of the bone broth that is not only good for our elasticity of our skin, our joints, but also is really, really beneficial for our gut health. And anything and everything revolves around our gut. So the more kind of diverse foods we eat that supports our gut, it links with everything else in our body. So gut is the gut and brain connection is being studied for many, many years now, and the conclusion is that actually gut and brain, they communicate with each other. Serotonin, which is our serotonin, which is our happy hormone, which helps our brain function, but 90% of serotonin is produced in the guts. So if our gut is happy and well supported, then everything else falls into the right place. So bone broth is really, really amazing for supporting our gut. There are 2 amino acids in bone broth that help our immunity. It boosts our immunity, and obviously now, and more than ever, you have to support yourself with as many great ingredients as possible. So the secret to good bone broth is to simmer the bones for a very long time, as I said, so up to 24 hours, but 6 hours would do as well, if that's the time you have or willingness to put up with the smell. But the secret is to roast the bones first in the highest temperature of the oven, as the oven as high as it gets, so 240, however far it goes. Put the high temperature on, roast the bones quickly for like 20 minutes, take them out, put them in the pot where you're going to be cooking them in, add a good splash of apple cider vinegar, and then cover it with cold water. So what apple cider vinegar does, it helps break down the vitamins and minerals in the bones and kind of helps them to seep into the broth. So that's the hack of the potent bone broth. And then you just simmer away, simmer. I tend to simmer it for the first like 3-4 hours, just plain on a really low heat. And then in my kind of second phase, I add fragrances, so aromatics like loads of root vegetables, ginger, garlic, loads of garlic, onions, and then that simmers for another like 2, 3, 4 hours. And then you end up having this amazing, and if your quality of bones is really good, then you end up having this really golden rich thick broth. That's just pure heaven. Yesterday actually, so I made one yesterday coincidentally because I've run out of what I had, and it was the time of the day when it was like 3-4 o'clock, and this is the worst time for me to kind of pick on things, and I get really hungry during that around that time of the day. So I had the bone broth ready, and I was like, okay, why don't I make myself a bulletproof bone broth? So I poured a glass of freshly made bone broth. I've added some butter, MCT oil, salt, pepper, and some chilies. I blended it in the NutriBullet, then added some chopped avocado and cucumber, and that was my, cup of without noodles. But it was so satisfying, and it was
that sounds amazing. So satiating, right?
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. So not only kind of fills you up, but you can feel the goodness, just going into your veins and circulating in your body. It's incredible. And yes, keeps you satiated. You're not hungry anymore. You don't feel the pangs, and you have benefits of MCT and on top of that. So yeah, it's a really good hack to have, to know about. And if you feel like, oh God, I really want something, but I don't want to have my usual snacks, or when people have those cravings for biscuits and sugar and stuff, just go for bone broth, and that will sort you out.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I will say thank you for the tips on roasting and apple cider vinegar, because I didn't know about that, and I make my own as well, as you know. So thank you.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm just curious, like when we're fasting, we say, in GlobalFast, we say that we can have participants can have bone broth, right? And so, because you add root vegetables and garlic and onion and all the things, so is it before that gets added that we can have it during a fast without breaking the fast?
That's a very, very good question. So during the fast, so our fast, we do recommend bone broth, as you said. There are various schools of thought on fasts, what breaks the fast, what doesn't. During the fast, I wouldn't recommend the bulletproof broth that I just described. So just drink the first phase of it. So the pure stock, pure broth from bones only, because vegetables can add carbohydrates, unnecessary glucose into our bloodstream, and then that could break the fast quicker than the bone broth on its own. Although some people could argue, and they can say, well, there is protein coming from bones, and that's part of the broth as well. But when we fast together with GlobalFast for up to 72 hours, I think it's about finding the right balance and what do you want to achieve from a fast. So the 72-hour fast that we support and we practice together, it's kind of gut supporting a fast, enhancing autophagy. But the bone broth helps you survive longer during the fast, and it's good for the first timers and people who are not as experienced in having dry fast. But I would say, because the 1 glass of, and I'm not saying drinking gallons of the bone broth. So if you have a cup of bone broth, that is about 90 calories. So that could counterbalance of the calories that you use for just breathing and living. So that's one of the argument. But having the bone broth, it comes with massive amount of benefits as well. So it supports you from kind of vitamins and minerals point of view, the amino acids that are really essential, and it gives you what's the word, electrolytes, so magnesium, potassium. So yes, we do like bone broth, but without the extra add-ons, aromatics. That can be later, when that can be something that we break fast with, for example.
Yeah. So, and that's one thing that I love doing, is breaking fast with the bone broth.
Yeah.
And I find that I don't need to eat as much, even though you're at the end of 72 hours, your brain is like, I need food. Like, I will take anything right now, But as soon as, like, for me, in my experience, I have bone broth, maybe a little bit of sauerkraut, something to activate digestion and get the sort of internal enzymes and things like going again. And I find that super helpful to not overeat fast, right? Because it's so easy to just jump in and be like, like, give me all the food, and like, it doesn't really matter what it is. But when it's done correctly, and methodically and mindfully, I find that I get to choose what I want to eat and actually listen to, like, I actually feel like eating something really healthy as opposed to eating anything,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You kind of respect your body more after cleansing it for so long, and not feeding it with food. You want to kind of start on a good way rather than just,
binging, really, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're talking about here. Like, and the same goes, I mean, and like you said, I love that you brought up about having this in the afternoon, because so many of us experience the afternoon hunger pangs, and maybe lunch wasn't as satiating or as varied. Maybe we haven't eaten the correct foods. Maybe we ate a few too many carbs at lunch or something, and so a few hours later we're feeling hungry again. So I love that you brought up about using bone broth that is so full of nutrients and so good for you, and having that as your afternoon snack as opposed to a biscuit or something.
Absolutely. And bone broth with added butter and MCT oil and avocado, that is all fat, and we do need fat. We need to think of, obviously, healthy fats. These are the best fats out there,
right?
We need to think of it as the best source of energy that we need for our bodies. Fat first and most of it, and then we can go for protein and carbohydrates. So it's kind of flipping the myth on its head that fat is bad for you is such a difficult thing to do.
It's been ingrained for so many decades, right?
Yeah,
it's been the narrative.
Yeah, totally. We've been brainwashed by food industries, by advertising, industries that fat equals fat you. But
Yeah.
that's not what it is. Totally is.
Really not. Yeah.
So it's a we're on a long kind of journey of debunking this myth, but
Right.
there are people who are willing to accept that and experiment that on their own. But fat is good. I've been eating tons of butter, and I haven't gained any weight, and I feel great. And my cholesterol is fine. All my blood markers are fine. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it does happen where sometimes your body doesn't process fats, as well, and then you get high cholesterol and all that stuff. Even if you are on a ketogenic style diet, like the Bulletproof diet or whatever. So there is a possibility that your body's not processing fats correctly, and there are hacks for that, right?
That's right.
So it doesn't like a conventional doctor may say, oh, well, you're eating too much fat. That's why you have high cholesterol, right? But actually, it's because your body's not processing the fats correctly. So that's what needs to change, not go off the fats, you need to address the process that's not working properly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's my hack for today. Bone broth all the way and lots of fat. And what's your hack?
Yeah, so I was excited to talk about resilience and cold showers and how we can build resilience and just get better at handling really, really shitty situations.
Yeah.
Hit me. I mean, this is life, right? We are all experiencing different. I'm just gonna swear. We're or swear more, I should say. We're all in a shitstorm, right? No matter what that looks like. So your shitstorm is different to my shitstorm, but it's life. Okay.
We are.
And the difference is between how we handle these shitstorms, right? Because they're not going to stop coming.
No.
Okay. That's, and if they stopped coming, life would be so freaking boring.
That's like,
dumb, right? Imagine if we were just all la 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 la, dumb.
Yeah, it's not.
Bring me some hardship, let me deal with some shit so that I can be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
So one of my favorite things to do is to have a cold shower, which, disclaimer, like we mentioned last week when we were talking about Jason, it's fucking cold here in the UK. And so cold water is extremely cold. It is like having an ice bath, right? It is like, I haven't measured the temperature of the cold water here, but it's cold. So what's that?
Sorry to interrupt, but I haven't actually checked the temperature of the cold water. I need to do it tomorrow.
Please let me know, because it's ridiculously cold here. When I'm in Tennessee and we have well water there, and I don't know what the difference is, if it goes through the house a different way or if it's the environment, but the water doesn't get this cold there. So I don't know. Anyways, but it's freezing. So my disclaimer is that I don't have a prolonged cold shower. I have a cold blast at the end of my nice, cozy, warm shower. Right. So for me, what this does is mentally builds up my capacity to handle a difficult situation, right? So I'm intentionally putting the cold water on, and I'm intentionally getting in it. And so there's a mental response to that is I'm gonna die, and your body kind of contracts and it gets like heart's beating and the breath, goes faster, and like, oh, it's like this terrible die, like this situation where you're gonna die. And so to control that and get into a mental state of like, oh, hey, there's this really difficult thing in front of me and I'm going to do it. I can handle this. I have the skills. I hear you, fear, having that conversation with the fear and being like, I see you. Thank you for protecting me.
Yeah.
But I'm choosing to do this really difficult thing. And by doing that, by having that kind of conversation, by changing the narrative, and by physically immersing yourself in this cold, icy cold water, it's double whammy. You're telling yourself, your mental self, hey, it's okay, I can do this thing. And then physically, being able to not have that immediate response, that that fight or flight response. So that's natural, right? But we don't, in the modern Western world, we don't live in the wild anymore, and so that threat response it's still in us, right, from back in the freaking days.
How we are programmed.
Yeah. But how we manage it is very important in the modern world, because like you don't want to be elevated. You don't want to be like in this fight or flight mode the whole time. So when you're able to come down and be in control of that, you can live a better life, right? You can live more authentically. You're not living in fear. You're not living with stress.
Yes. And you think clearly, because
Totally.
the fear is not there in front of you or chasing you, like it's not a tiger chasing you. You're fine.
Exactly.
So how do you overcome that? In an instant reaction of jumping out of that cold shower or changing the temperature.
Lots of deep breathing. It's difficult.
It
right?
is.
So I acknowledge the difficulty. I acknowledge it, and my physically what I do is I control my breath. I notice my breath. I remain mindful. I've been practicing mindfulness for many years now, and it has certainly helped me to be able to notice, okay, this is difficult. I can see my breath. My breath is like, and I'm able to control that, before stepping into that difficult situation.
Yes.
And that's really like how I ideally want to live life, I want to live life from presence and be centered, right?
And be in control of the situation, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because then we go at it like this and we can go, there, that's what the situation is. If we're up here and we're like, oh, this is awful, like shit.
Yeah. You're in survival. Yeah, and you don't want to be in a survival mode. You want to be grounded and in control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
breathing good, and then just talking to yourself. It's okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, those narratives are always there, right? And it's how we respond to those narratives that dictate how we live life, really. So and it goes for not just this kind of situation, but for anything really that comes up, like for us going on this call, my narrative, like when I put on my Facebook feed about doing this, like, I'm so nervous, because I get so nervous for these things, right? So that's my narrative. That's the learned protected, like that's me protecting me. So I have to, like, before our call, I had a little, like, 10 minutes sit down with myself. And I had a little chat with myself, and so, and that conversation went like, I see you, I hear you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for protecting me for this long, you know.
Yes.
And usually that part of us is our from our childhood, or you know, it's our an older version of us, right?
Yeah.
And so, hey, guess what? Like, thank you, but we have the skills now to do this really difficult thing. You
Yeah.
know,
Step.
we've done it before.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, it's doing what's uncomfortable. It requires a, you know, hard work, and it's a great big challenge, but it's a positive thing. It's a
Right.
positive thing. You then, when you achieve something that you don't often do. What's happening? In a minute. Yeah, well, Elliot's in a challenging situation because he's always after him now. So yeah, it's good to be, and I think we are all in a situation that we are kind of forced to be in a challenging environment, because we didn't choose to be where we are. We didn't choose to be in a pandemic. We didn't choose to be in a lockdown and facing all the ghosts and fears. But
Right.
it's how you respond to those things, right? And how you can control what's controllable. So breathing, you can totally control breathing, and control mindfulness and talking and being honest with yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And
and so this is a practice, right? So that means that we're doing it over and over again, and we're getting better and better at it, right? We don't just do it once and then like we're golden, you know. This is something that happens that we do continuously, and it has a snowball effect, and we get better and better at it. So by doing very difficult things intentionally, like sitting in meditation, that is very challenging, right? Having a cold shower or a cold blast in your shower, intentionally fasting, like these are things where we are putting ourselves in a difficult situation, and it's almost like a challenge, right? We're challenging ourselves to handle it better each and every time.
Yeah.
And we get better at it. It's amazing.
We are creating a habit. We're creating a habit. But also, after accomplishing cold showers and fastings, we realize how amazingly we feel afterwards.
Totally.
And that is and that is almost like addictive. So it's like, I want to have this, I want to feel that feeling. I want to feel the way I felt during that cold shower, or after cold shower, or during the fast, because it's an incredible feeling. And
you said this, so today, after my shower, I had been for a walk, and I did a yoga session. It was power yoga, so I was really warmed up, and I had a really hot long shower, and then I had my cold blast at the end, and I was able to, you know, stay in the cold for a lot longer today because of my internally I was so warm. But what I realized was that feeling as I was getting out the shower of like my skin tingling. I was tingling all over, and what it reminded me of was playing as a kid out in the cold, where you're running around, you know, in the streets, and it's freezing outside. And I remember, you know, my mom is like, you know, put on a jersey or whatever, like, and we're just running amok, and it didn't really matter, you know. But when you know that, I don't know, can you relate to that, like that tingly feeling, right? It brought that back, that sort of happy memory of playing as a kid, you know. But that just felt so good. It felt energizing, you know.
Definitely does. And what also, and there is a scientific research on that, what cold showers do to us. They support our mitochondria health. So mitochondria are tiny little energy, little submarine powerhouses in our individual cells. So and the hack of the whole cold shower as well is to aim your cold shower in between your shoulder blades, and that's where we store what it's called brown fat. And brown fat in our bodies is the accumulation of mitochondria. So when we hit ourselves with a cold shower at our back, that we basically age slower and we become younger. Let's put it that way, because it's all about supporting our cellular health, and mitochondria is the key to do it. So yes, and that's probably related with how we feel so energized, and because that's the energy powerhouse of energy, we do instantly get that hit of endorphins.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's you know, our godfather of biohacking, Dave Asprey, you know, he's all about the cold showers and the mitochondria, you know, making sure that our mitochondria are in good health, and that we're constantly just like re-energizing them, right? Because that is our number one source of energy. If our mitochondria are like, I don't know, low energy, shriveled, dying, whatever, like they are, and you're gonna feel like crap, right? And so, and a cold shower is one way to activate, energize, like
activate,
energize your mitochondria. Yeah,
totally. So yes, so it's cold showers are good all around for mental health, for the actual cellular health,
and for the skin.
Yes. As well, apparently.
Yeah, I stick my head in it. I mean, that's also challenging, but
challenging is it's a literal brain freeze. Yeah, for cold shower.
Exactly.
So it's not for everyone, but yeah, you build your resilience when the more you do it. Yeah.
All right. Well, to everyone who's joined in with us today, thank you for watching. And thank you. I saw a few thumbs up come up, so thank you for those. We hope that this has been of value, and hopefully we can answer any questions that come up. Both Dorota and I are super available to helping people in this space, right? Dorota is a qualified nutritionist, and I am a qualified human potential coach, and extremely familiar with the Bulletproof diet, and we're both biohackers. We are, hey Vladimir, thank you for the heart. And yeah, we'll be doing a community group fast coming up on the 7th of February. And this is where we get together with whoever wants to join us, mostly people who are fasting for the first time or doing an extended fast for the first time. And we get to share our bulletproof hacks and amazing goodness, all the juicy information you get provided during that fast, as well as our awesome community support.
Yeah, totally. It's great.
Yeah.
We'll add to the post, we'll add some info we spoke about. So
some resources.
My amazing recipe on bone broth will be.
You're gonna share it?
Yes. Yeah, all things.
Awesome. And then I just wanted to throw this out there, put it between us and whoever is watching this, that we are working on a few different programs for related to fasting, and we are particularly looking for some females to potentially work with and help them in the wellness journey, weight loss journey, wellness journey. And so we welcome anybody who is female and who wants to work with us to get hold of us, and look forward to presenting with this juicy new program that we're coming up with.
Yeah, can't wait. Yes, get in touch.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.